Commander Zeftar of the hegemonic empire lounged in his command throne, 6 arms folded in amusement, as he reviewed the latest intelligence reports. His scaled lips curved into what passed for a smile among his species as he read about the small blue world on the galaxy's outer rim. Earth, he clicked in his native tongue, the universal translator rendering his words for the bridge crew. Population, 8 billion. Technology level, primitive fusion drives and electromagnetic weapons. Military capability, negligible. His tactical officer, a crystalline being named Voxel, chimed in harmonious tones. Sir, their largest vessels barely reach 300 meters in length. Our dreadnoughts are 40 times that size. Zeftar's mandibles clicked with laughter. And yet, these humans have the audacity to refuse our terms of surrender. They claim they need 48 hours to consider our generous offer of servitude. The Empire had conquered 17 star systems in the past decade, each falling within days of their arrival. Most civilizations took one look at the massive fleet that could blot out their sun and immediately capitulated. A few had attempted resistance, but none lasted more than a few hours against the Empire's overwhelming technological superiority. Sir, interrupted the communications officer, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. Put it through, Zeftar ordered, expecting the usual plea for mercy. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a middle-aged human woman in a crisp military uniform. Her dark eyes held no fear, only a cold determination that gave Zeftar pause. I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force, she said without preamble. Your ultimatum has been received and rejected. We will not surrender. Zeftar leaned forward, intrigued despite himself. Admiral Chen, surely you understand the futility of resistance. Our fleet contains over 10,000 vessels. Your entire planet has fewer than 500 ships of any meaningful size. Numbers aren't everything, Commander, Chen replied, her voice steady. We've had time to study your tactics from your previous conquests. You rely on overwhelming force and intimidation. But you've never faced an enemy willing to sacrifice everything for freedom. Sacrifice? Zeftar's laugh rumbled through the bridge. What sacrifice could possibly matter against our might? Chen's expression hardened. You'll find out soon enough. Chen out. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in puzzled silence. Zeftar dismissed the exchange as typical human bravado and ordered the fleet to advance toward Earth. They would demonstrate their power by destroying a few orbital installations, and the humans would reconsider their position. As the Empire's vast armada moved through the solar system, their sensors detected unusual activity around Earth. Ships were moving, but not in the panicked evacuation patterns they expected. Instead, the human vessels seemed to be. Sir, Voxel reported, the human fleet has taken formation around their moon. 512 vessels, arranged in a perfect sphere. A defensive formation, Zeftar mused. Quaint. They think their tiny ships can protect their world by hiding behind their satellite. The Empire's fleet spread across space, like a metallic plague, dreadnoughts the size of cities, flanked by thousands of smaller craft. Zeftar was about to order the opening salvo when his sensor operator's panic tones filled the bridge. Sir, energy readings from the human fleet are impossible. Each ship is generating power levels equivalent to a small star. Before Zeftar could respond, space around the human formation began to ripple. Reality itself seemed to bend and twist as the 500 vessels suddenly blazed with light brighter than their sun. What are they? Zeftar began, but his words died as the human fleet simply vanished. For a moment, the Empire's sensors showed empty space where the human armada had been. Then, in the span of a single heartbeat, 500 human warships materialized throughout the Empire's formation, not approaching from a distance, but appearing instantly among them, as if they had always been there. Impossible. Voxel's crystalline form pulsed with shock. They've achieved instantaneous travel across space. Our physicists said it couldn't be done. The human ships, now revealed in their true form, were technological marvels that put the Empire's vessels to shame. Sleek and angular, they pulsed with energies that made space itself sing. They weren't the primitive craft the Empire had observed, those had been mere decoys. Admiral Chen's voice crackled across all frequencies. The price of freedom is everything we have, and everything we are. Today, humanity pays that price gladly. What followed wasn't a battle, it was a revelation. The human ships moved through space, as if physics were mere suggestions, appearing and disappearing at will. Their weapons didn't fire projectiles or energy beams. They simply deleted sections of enemy vessels from existence, leaving perfectly spherical voids where armor and crew had been moments before. Zeftar watched in horror as his mighty dreadnoughts were carved apart by enemies that couldn't be targeted, couldn't be caught, and couldn't be stopped. The Empire's advanced shields and armor meant nothing against weapons that operated outside conventional physics. "How?" he whispered, as his own ship shuddered under an attack that came from everywhere and nowhere. The answer came as Admiral Chen's ship materialized directly in front of his bridge, close enough that he could see her through the transparent aluminum viewing port. "We solved death itself 20 years ago, Commander," her voice echoed in his mind, rather than through speakers. "When you can upload consciousness, when you can back up and restore souls, when dying becomes temporary, sacrifice takes on new meaning." Zeftar understood then. The humans hadn't just built better ships, they had transcended the limitations that made other species cautious, that made them value self-preservation above all else. They had become something beyond biology, beyond fear. "Every human in this fleet died to be here," Chen continued. "We converted our life essence to pure energy, merged with our ships, became one with our weapons. We are no longer bound by flesh or physics. We are will made manifest." The last thing Zeftar saw was Chen's smile, not cruel or vindictive, but sad and infinitely tired, the expression of someone who had paid the ultimate price for victory. The Empire's fleet fell silent, its wreckage drifting in the cold void. Across the galaxy, the news spread. The humans had won not through superior numbers or technology, but by becoming something beyond what the Empire could comprehend. Earth was no longer a joke. It was a warning.